to the Dungeon Plunger Podcast. My name is Jason Weeb, and this is the show in which I, a real-life janitor and dungeon master, teaches you how to plunge in and run a better Dungeons & Dragons game. Without further ado, let's plunge into this week's episode. Welcome, Dungeon Plunger Union members. I have my +1 plunger, a cup of coffee-flavored holy water, and two very special Union members with me today to help plunge the dungeon and flush evil down the drain. This week, we have fellow Canadians, Joshua and Michael Kramer. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
That intro is so good.
That's excellent. Yeah, happy to be here. Excited to talk.
I am so glad to have you guys on. As we were talking sort of off mic, I was looking for somebody to, cover for Mothership month, and what better than some fellow Canadians. And I was looking through so the way that I discovered you guys is that I had backed your latest Kickstarter that just fulfilled, called Providers. And then shortly after that, I got the notice that it was going to be Mothership month, and you guys are now doing Grim Merchants, which is on Backerkit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
So I definitely want to dive into all of that. But before we get there, how did both of you get into gaming? And maybe we can start with you, Joshua, and then we'll go over to Michael.
Well, so Michael is my older brother. So of the two of us, I was following his lead, getting into a lot of this stuff. But he ran games for us. We grew up playing a little bit of D&D and things like that with our dad. Really, in kind of college years and like early 20s, like Michael would run D&D games, and I would play in them. And then, of course, eventually the cycle is such that you play enough games that you end up running them. And I wanted to go sci-fi because Michael did fantasy. And so that was kind of where I started getting into like Stars Without Number and the Alien RPG. And then eventually to Mothership. Oh, and the bird is gone. We got a parrot in the house, and he is a curious little guy. But that's largely my background. Big kind of board gaming family. Lots of people into improv and dramatic. Growing up as like a camp kid, you get the sense for role playing when you do skits and stuff, songs every night. The whole social aspect of that. So that aspect of social play definitely like fed into gravitating towards this over other stuff, and then it just became enough of a success that I could do it as a job, which is a very, very wild and exciting thing to be able to say.
Yeah, no, definitely. That is amazing. And for you, Michael, what was where did it all begin for you guys?
This is maybe
where did it all go wrong?
Where did it go wrong? This is maybe one of my favorite stories to tell. I have a distinct memory as a kid. My parents they had a summer camp thing, and one night every week, my dad would sit down with my mom and one of our friends, and they would play D&D. And so they would put me to bed. They would sit down, and I would sneak out and hide around the corner and listen to them play.
I didn't know this. I've never heard this story. You love telling this story.
I love telling this story. So I recently picked up a copy of the 3.5 D&D Player's Handbook. I flipped through that thing as a kid for ages. I loved it so much. And then kind of in adulthood started running home games in Australia, and then moved back here and started running for Josh. We had a big group going. I think there were points where we had like 4 games going a week. Oh yeah. That was, I can't imagine having that much free time now. But yeah, it was pretty sick. And then, when Josh started running Mothership, it's such a different game from like D&D or I don't know, that kind of adventure. But I loved it. It was so sick. And then when Josh got the invitation to Mothership, I love Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is my favorite thing. And so he was like, do you want to help? And I was like, yes, please.
I need someone with a cyberpunk bone in their body to come in here and assist. So I didn't have any other name on that list. I was like, I have my most trusted brother and advisor to come in and collaborate with. Here we go.
That's awesome. How exactly then? I saw you have a bunch of already like Mothership products that are on Facebook and on itch.io. How did that all start? Like when did you make the leap from going, I love this fucking game to I need to write this stuff?
Mm-hmm. That was last year, just over a year ago in last summer. I was between freelancing jobs. I didn't really have anything lined up. So I was, trying to scrimp and save and panicking a little bit, as you do. And one thing that I thought was good to keep me busy was to be doing creative work. Planning RPGs is very intensive. And I had always thought about how cool it would be to like publish something. But I was part of the Mothership Discord community, which is an amazing place. Really, really constructive. Really good for just kind of encouraging people to be creative and to kind of pursue publication if they have any amount of interest. So they had the resources on there to kind of give me the kick of like, listen, I don't have a job, but I do have a weekend and I need something to do. So I gave myself a little self-imposed game jam to create Fire Sale, which was my first just pamphlet adventure. So I just gave myself 48 hours to whip something up, write it, kind of lay it out, do the art. Not a final product, but just to have something that I could print out and give to people and I could run and they could run. And so I started Friday night and I ended Sunday night. And I had this. Dude. I offered went to the Discord for like, hey, I wrote this thing. Can I get some feedback and tips and stuff? And then over the next like week or so, refined it and then just put it out on Itch and Drive Through RPG. And it was like, I don't know, a couple people bought it, but it was mostly just kind of cool to get into kind of the creators part of the community, just with a very, very gentle toe dip into the pond.
Third wave Mothership creator.
So it was very, very small. But then from there, it was just I was networked to some of those other people, did some work with them, kind of collaborated and chatted. And then one of the people recommended like, hey, next time you release something, just do a Kickstarter. They gave me some resources for it. Again, it's like do it really small. You don't have to do print or anything. And that was kind of where it really kicked off was that Kickstarter that was A Mansion Most Vile. And it did very well.
Someone is currently doing an actual play of.
There's an actual play, hopefully coming out this month. That they're running Mansion Most Vile, which is a surreal experience.
So I am kind of curious about that one because when I was looking at I have it in my drive-through cart right now. Yeah. Based on the cover image, it looks like a haunted mansion type of deal. Is this set in like a sci-fi future, or is this a like Mothership powered like haunted house type of scenario?
I see. Yeah. It is sci-fi. It's definitely like a gothic mansion. Like it's like a rich, like company person's gothic mansion. But it is still grounded in it's like a private moon and they're a state on a private moon. And, there's like androids and sentry turrets and stuff. Like there's like futuristic stuff in the mansion. It's very, like Resident Evil type, kind of like it is old architecture and stuff, but they got secret lab and all that kind of,
Very, very cool, man. So that's amazing that just from like one pamphlet. And I mean, I've been looking at your stuff, and this stuff is like really detailed. Like the fact that you
Thank
just
you.
slammed this together in like 48 hours.
Josh is eternally humble. He's fantastic graphic designer and
no, please keep
stop.
talking, keep going. No, I mean, I appreciate it. I went to school for graphic design. I've been doing graphic design and posters and stuff since I was a kid. Just like kind of that's been for some layout. It's not art. It's not illustration. I like doing layout and like logos and stuff. But I've been doing that, through like college and high school and stuff like that. So really, this was the first just opportunity that I had to put that on the page and make a product out of it, I guess. I don't know. It's like one of those things of like, eventually I got good enough. I was like, I think people might pay money for this. And yeah, they seem to.
Will.
Based on the Backerkit numbers, they seem to.
So the real question is it actually the parrot doing the work and you're just taking credit?
I can't comment on that.
Are you being mind controlled by the parrot? And
I can't comment on anything.
I don't have
related
fingers, so
yeah. it's not a Ratatouille situation. I resent the implication that it's a Ratatouille situation. No, Skittle is observed. Skittle should be credited, I think, because he's observed all of the work just from my shoulder.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So going back, you do your Kickstarter. So how did exactly do you get connected into the Mothership Month? Because it feels like this is kind of like an elite sort of like group of designers that have all been, brought together to make like the Voltron Mothership products. And especially this year, it feels like there's a very cohesive theme. I don't know if like maybe last year it was the same thing. I'm having a hard time recalling, but it feels like this is like it's all kind of hanging off of Prospero's dream and sort of like that kind of stuff, which is pretty rad.
It's very cool.
So talk about that a little bit.
I mean, I can, speak to this a little bit in just that, like, I mean, you were connected to it through you became fairly well known in the Mothership community through, relatively.
I mean, because they have like spaces in the Mothership Discord for creators only. And that's where they kind of first put out, hey, Mothership Month will be this theme, or start thinking about if you want to participate, what you might make. Yeah.
But no, it's super, super friendly towards new creators, I think. I think myself, this is my first Mothership thing, but then there's several other people who are doing like solo projects as their first Mothership thing, and it's super cool because there's a lot of other people who are super experienced, and they've been really, really good at just like guiding through how Backerkit works and like when to put out updates and like what good stretch goals are, and so like honestly, it's such a cool boot camp for becoming like a creator in the community. Super, super fun group of people.
Yeah. And so like in terms of logistics, I would say it's like the Discord. Like they put out an application sheet. They said, hey, tell us your teams, give us an elevator pitch, and then eventually give us like a draft, similar to the submission process they have for regular third-party products. And they just went through, they had 50 something submissions. And so there's a bunch of people, some people are kickstarting now. There's some incredible stuff out there that was in contention for Mothership Month that didn't end up getting selected.
Oh man.
And they just kind of trimmed it down. And like it was as much as it does. I mean, everybody's firing on all cylinders. Like it's such a great group. But they did want to balance. It's not just the heavy hitters. It's not just, kind of the big names. They wanted to, I mean, I consider myself a big name. I feel like that's
sorry,
but they want to do it as a mentorship thing to signal boost people who are just getting into the community and people who are just kind of, starting out, as much as they also want it to be something for like the experienced creators to come together and Voltron, towards like that's Flatline on the Blocks, I think is
Flatline
like,
on the Blocks.
That's like a dozen crazy. That's the Avengers going on.
So excited
that project right there.
I've been on the edge for that one. I'm like, I have like so many like limited fundage and I'm just like, oh, so many hard decisions to make here. But I have been eyeballing it. I'm like, maybe I should,
I hear you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. I recommend that you that you take a look. I would never advocate that someone make a poor financial decision. As someone who makes many poor financial decisions.
Well, kind of bouncing off of that then. So is this are you doing this full time? Like, or is this just like a side gig for you now that you found work and since then and you're working and then this just like, I love this stuff. Of course I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's a full-time gig. Yeah. Like I have, side little odd jobs and stuff like service industry and whatnot, but just the way that the Kickstarters have been going and the way that things have been shaking out, like, yeah, this kind of is my main thing. It's all from home and yeah, fingers crossed. It's a really cool experience. It's not something that kid me would have expected I was doing.
Oh man, there's been a few times throughout the Kickstarter where like Josh and I will sit in the backyard. We have a little fire pit out there and just like pace around talking about, like,
oh, should we do this stretch goal? What should we do for this other vendor? And
it was so funny because at one point I just stopped and I was like, this is exactly the same thing we did like on holidays in the mountains camping. We'd like just go for like 2-hour long walks.
Just walks around the campsite talking about, okay, I got this spaceship idea and but yeah, it's a pretty surreal situation to be in. I'm very grateful.
Yeah. That is super rad. I'm so happy for you guys. So so going into Grim Merchants, this is what's on Backerkit now.
Yes.
And how is this work divided between the two of you? I'm assuming like you do the graphic design and Michael is doing the writing portion, or are you sharing that? How to talk to me a little bit about how this creative duo process works for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think, first of all, huge shout out to Josh. Josh has done all the layout and it is so cool.
It's not totally done. It's a mess right now.
He says that.
We're moving pieces into place.
Yeah. So like that's been all him. And the big delineation is we both just took like 2 merchants. And so there's 4 in the book. We also have each done a stretch goal merchant. Fingers crossed.
There's some stuff down the pipeline. We could get as high as 6 merchants.
But yeah, we both kind of just split it down the middle. And then, so much of it is just like bouncing stuff off of each other. It's so much easier to create when you have someone who we have pretty much all of the same shared references. So I'm like, oh, like this character from Event Horizon. And Josh is like, oh yeah, I know that. Yeah. And then, so it's just like kind of having a shorthand and then another person to be like, no, that's a dumb idea. You shouldn't do that. But yeah, it's a sick feedback loop. I'm so stoked on all of the merchants that we got going.
So cool. Yeah.
And yeah. So I don't know. Does that answer it?
Yeah. What was the inspiration point for this? So my understanding is that you guys threw this out. Tuesday Night Games was like, hell's yeah, and then you guys just went for it. So what was the inspiration behind this particular project?
So yeah, essentially, early in 2025, we got word down the pipeline that the theme for Mothership Month 25 would be Prospero Street. That all of the projects that were part of it were going to be set aboard the station and would like center around it. So, right away, like I ran to Michael and was like, okay, we got to start brainstorming on this. And what we hit on was, if we're going to be in a group with 25-ish other projects, it's going to be a lot of adventures. It's going to be a lot of kind of one-shots or campaign frameworks. And one of the big things, I mean, as people who love running games as well as like writing them, it's, you know, that like you buy so many books, way more than you could ever run, right? And Mothership is especially addictive for that because it's so accessible. Like modules are not expensive; they're really plentiful. There's so much content in each of them.
They're also beautiful, like,
and they're
just fun.
They're amazing. They're beautiful.
It's so cool.
So basically, our thought was, well, we should maybe not do that. We should maybe not do something that you need to invest. Okay, guys, we're playing Grim Merchants for the next 4 years, and then what are we going to do with the other dozen projects I backed for Mothership Month? I don't know. And so our thought was to do a toolkit. And the thought was, okay, well, what does every Mothership table need? More ways to spend money, more ways to make money. I don't think I've played at a single gaming table in a single gaming campaign where extra merchants and extra cool items to go shop at, do a shopping episode, was unwelcome. Like, it's like just an immediate value add to basically any game in any context. And so we're like, we could do 4 really cool ideas for vendors that fit into the world of Prospero's Dream, that you could run into just like at random. You could use them as little or as much as you want. And it's just another book behind the screen. Like, if you're running your sandbox campaign out of that crazy, amazing box set that they have, which we didn't know about until recently too. The Prospero's Dream box set, if you have that, it's like, and then you just have Grim Merchants behind there. And if someone's like, I want to go get some cyber mods, where can I go? You have an answer for them. And it's a rabbit hole. And there's so much you can do with that and engage with if you want, or it just becomes, I spend my credits and then I get something cool.
The other part of it that we were talking about was Mothership, like, in terms of, it's designed for one shots primarily. And so one of the things with that is you don't get to play with a lot of like progression mechanics. And so a lot of the merchants, at least maybe this is more of what I went for, is like they're designed to fast forward some of those things. Like, instead of having to go to school for 2 years to get a skill, you can go visit a guy who'll just pop it into your brain for you, and then just build mechanics for that to make it balanced and fun and fair. But yeah, like, get to incorporate a few more of the core rules into average play, so that you don't have to do these massive timelines.
That's an interesting point you bring up. Do you feel like campaign play is possible with Mothership? Because that is one of the major criticisms that I hear often, is that, Mothership is really meant for a horror game. It's meant for a one shot. Characters are going to die right away. So you can't really do a long-term campaign. How do you guys feel about that?
Do you want to answer?
I immediately have thoughts. Yeah, I can go.
Go for it.
I think as long as your players are interested in the story, you can keep a campaign going. That's all that you really need. And I think one of the things I love about Mothership is that it kind of takes the player and it makes them more of a storyteller than something like D&D, where like you are your character, you are bound by the rules entirely. Where Mothership is like, we got a few rules for you to follow, but like, you are participating in this story because you are not your character, and your character's probably going to die. You get to take on a more, I don't know, like almost narrative role.
You're a spectator less than an inhabitor.
And so I think from that point of view, as like a spectator of a show, the cast can change. And so I think the big thing that you need for a long running Mothership campaign is something that keeps bringing more people in. So for example, I think Prospero's Dream is a really great campaign framework. Because whenever someone dies, you just roll up someone else on the dream and bring them into whatever your crew is doing before. And so like, I think campaign play is possible. I do think your characters will still die, but that makes it that much cooler when a character survives for a bit and like gets some history behind them. So that's one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot, is I think it'd be really cool to do ongoing session to session.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've approached it when I've run Mothership as much more of an anthology, Twilight Zone or like Black Mirror kind of style. where the progression is like, yeah, it's basically one shots, and characters largely are relegated to their 1 or 2 session kind of run. But what I really find value in, and I think what my players have found value in too, is like certain corporations get mentioned between sessions, and there's certain religious movements or overarching kind of like hints towards things going on in the background that people pick up on, and then there's that kind of slight continuity that creates this. You are basically playing one shots every week or every month, or like it's pretty irregular, but there is kind of an added value of kind of, if you pay attention, you can see where these things connect and what might be coming next. And I think that's a very fun way to experience collaborative storytelling. Because there is more of an audience aspect to the play of it, you start to feel like every week you're coming to watch like what crazy new thing is being added to this universe, like what's the new element or the new threat, and then getting to bring those back. I've run more than anything else, the most of Gradient Descent.
Okay.
The Mega Dungeon, which is such a great one, a conceit for bringing characters together and centering different kind of conflict. Because it's got such just the simple idea of like, oh yeah, you're back. You did die, but now you're an android version of yourself.
Where are you?
Or are you, right? Or did you somehow survive? It just returning to the deep, to Gradient Descent every few months to just kind of see like, hey, where are things now and how are things going? Creates a really cool campaign framework that is very different than like D&D or Draw Steel or any of these other games. So
interesting. So have either of you created like house rules to help increase survivability or adjust certain things that you find kind of disagree with your sense of the kind of campaign or adventures that you'd like to run?
I haven't really. I think we both kind of have just played it down the line with Mothership's rules. They do have in the Warden's Manual a list of house rules that are like kind of very common optional rules that people would adopt. The one that I most commonly use, because it's not technically an official part of the rules, is player-facing rules. And I don't abide strictly by it, but it's basically a mode of play with Mothership where the DM or the Warden never rolls anything.
Right.
If a monster's attacking, you roll a body save or a speed check. If you're attacking, you roll a combat check. The severity of the price of failure changes based on what you're fighting and stuff. But broadly speaking, it creates a situation where the dice kind of control the flow of things, but they're all in the open. And also, it usually it feels like the players always have the power in their hands to kind of make or break things. It's not the DM just rolling behind the screen. Oh, it rolled a combat of 90. No, that'd be bad. 95 would be bad. A combat of 11 and they critically hit you and killed you with no chance for input. But if it's your responsibility to pass the body save to avoid the creature spearing you through, it feels a lot less kind of like you just got blindsided because it was like, that was on me.
And it also feels that the Warden is learning about what's happening at the same time as the players.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think that's huge, again, for like the shared storytelling aspect, which is really what's most valuable about D&D is like, or role TTRPGs in general is like, just that collaboration. And so, when the Warden is as surprised as the players, it reinforces that enjoyment together.
And I guess that would kind of be a house rule as well. We do put a lot more choice in the hands of our players. I don't know that every table would do that.
That's true.
But like to say, okay, this creature is about to spear you through because you failed your body save. You're unlikely to survive this. What are your final moments? And giving them the full storytelling spotlight to narrate what happens and what they do. I think it takes the sting off that you experience from a lot of these games that are highly lethal. When you get the power over that moment to like kind of make it your own. Cause I mean, in a horror game, in a horror show or horror anything, the character's dying is the narrative high point for that character. It's the culmination. And so letting the players, I think it's kind of a sign of deference and respect of like, this is your character.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's horrible, we're all an audience. We want to see something gnarly. Give us what you got. Like, and I think people get the fun of it, the play of it, less than the sting of, oh, I just got murked by some crazy, monster from the shadows. It becomes like, ooh, what does it look like when I'm murked by a crazy monster from the shadows?
Getting excited about your character's own death.
Oh, there's nothing like it.
There's nothing like it.
So going back to Grim Merchants and the inspirations, what kind of horror movies, sci-fi movies, or just in general, what kind of inspirations did you draw on when you were working on this project?
Beautiful question. Amazing question. Do you want to start?
I can. Yeah. I mean, mine are pretty straight up the line. I would say Altered Carbon and Cyberpunk 2077. I love that TV show and that video game. And when Josh was like, cyberpunk horror, I was like, okay, what is the most horrific, what was the nth degree that you could take these to? And that's kind of where my two merchants came from. It's just like, oh my God, everything is for sale. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, my merchants ended up being, I guess, quite a lot less straightforwardly horror focused. It's like the ship auction house and the pawn shop. And I would say inspiration wise, for a lot of it, like I really love hard sci-fi. I love the ship designs in stuff like Alien or in The Expanse. I think that leaning into that part of the Mothership universe where ships are much more like submarines than they are like, the Enterprise or the Millennium Falcon or something. I think that's really compelling. And so sort of the claustrophobia and the grittiness of it. I think that I definitely wanted to lean on that aspect because like Alien and Event Horizon and all these, like those are also very strong influences on Mothership as a whole. So it's not really unique for me to say that I took inspiration from those. But specifically, I think kind of the hard sci-fi shipbreaking, like The Martian, with just like the propulsion and the practicality of that.
That and Wool Union Man.
The Titan, the aftermarket is like meant to be a vehicle to get people. Basically, I want people to read the Shipbreaker's Toolkit in the Mothership Deluxe set because it's a really cool book, and I wanted to augment that framework because it is a good like campaign framework and stuff too. So I think that would be an inspiration, just like hammering in even deeper the stuff that Mothership's already inspired by. And exploring more holistically the stuff that is just less appreciated about those touchstones. And then the other is just real world inspiration. We have an antique mall in our city, and it is like this giant, like 2 or 3 floor pawn shop, basically,
pretty much
full of oddities and bits and bobs. And it's everything from like clothing to like, they have an ice cream store in the corner.
Do they actually?
I don't know if it's operating anymore, but they did at one point. They sell like, knives, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Like it's, or like antique pennies, or it's just like all kinds of like anything. And I find that kind of comforting. And I think that that's kind of a cool like atmosphere to include. If for a merchant, you want stuff that's horrific, and you also want stuff that's like kind of comforting. So it's like the reprieve. I'm here between missions. I want a place that I can kind of go, I'll gear up, I'll chat with the surly owner, we'll shoot the shit and we'll kind of, and I think that just kind of leaning into those very real world, like inspirations of quirky spaces that have a story and a history to them that you can only really scrape the surface of. And, you could just go spend hours and hours just rummaging through. I don't know. That's not really a media inspiration. I don't know if that really helps with the question. But that would be kind of where I came to Grim Merchants from. Grounding the fantastical in something very real and very human.
I think you said something really poignant there where you're talking about how, these spaces have character as well, right? And I think it's very easy as a game master to kind of overlook the fact that these places, that maybe we're not painting enough of a picture to our players about these places, and
Sure.
playing them as if they are a character in and of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You look like you got something to say there, Michael. Go for it.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just gonna say it's been so fun. Like the number of hours that I've spent prepping sessions is like it's a lot. But the number of time, the amount of time that I've felt I have had to spend on shops is so small compared to that. Like it is, it's that, I make the NPC, I make their inventory, and I'm like, okay, I need to move on to something else because I don't have that much time. And so to get to spend it's coming on 6 months now, just lavishing attention on these specific 4 locations, or really for me, 2 locations. Has been so fun to just have the mechanics working, have the NPCs really fleshed out, have I don't know, a unique experience for players that happens when you show up to a shop, instead of it just being here's what they have. The guy's kind of weird. It becomes a shopping episode becomes, I'm so excited.
An actual episode.
So that's been really fun. I think the balance between horrific and cozy kind of is really cool, because I think we have them alternating in the book.
They do alternate.
So flipping through them, it's got a really cool feel. And that's another thing that's been fun about collaborating is my design sensibilities and Josh's design sensibilities. Well, they have a lot of shared inspirations. How they manifest is totally different. And that's been really fun to play out.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I have to say, I ran a over a year long Stars Without Numbers / Traveler game.
No kidding. Yeah.
And the frustration of not having, because it'd be oh, we need to go to this place to get information or to buy something, some kind of gear, and not having something accessible for that was I was man, I need to create something. I need some fast kind of templates or something that I can throw up to be, so that not every store or shop that you go to is that same, creepy guy, hey, you want to buy this cool thing I got here? Guns. I got guns. But to have, obviously you don't need to role play out every shopping scenario, but I do feel sometimes those interactions kind of ground your game in the realism of the world.
No, I think that, in terms of, if you look at horror storytelling language and stuff, the every piece of equipment that a character in a horror scenario has a story to it. There's a reason they ended up with it. There's a reason it ends up being relevant. The one time it saves their ass from the killer, it's been shown 4 or 5 times, or maybe they picked it up from one of their friends who died, and so I think that the place that journey with your equipment starts is the shop. And I think that you're right. A lot of stuff, it doesn't have a backstory. You just bought it from somewhere. But I think that for Mothership, especially, having a special story for this isn't just a combat shotgun. This is the refurbished combat shotgun I found in Ephemera for cheap and negotiated down to pennies on the dollar. And then it ends up, 3 sessions later, you blow the head off of a carcinid with it, saving your Marine buddy's life. That start to finish, that's an arc, and the gun is almost a character in the same way a vehicle could. And so I think that that is exactly what Grim Merchants is meant to kind of do, is those spaces between where you're I don't have time to spend on this. I don't want to necessarily make this a crazy rabbit hole that I go into, but I would love to have something with some character and flavor just to keep this interesting and keep it moving. That's what we're trying to do, is we can do that work for you. All right, you need some random gear. Just roll here and give it to them and let them go crazy. Like, I think those are some of my favorite books for RPGs that I've read, and so getting to write one is like, very exciting. Also,
shout out to our artist.
Simon Taylor. we gotta shout out the artist.
He was in Mothership Discord, and he was like, "Hey, for Mothership Month, I'd love to do some art." Josh contacted him, and then we started going back and forth. And we got our descriptions to him, and I think he had our art turned around in 48 hours.
Oh, it was
fully done pieces. It was crazy.
And
they are gorgeous. They had so, like, to see the character that I wrote rendered in such a way was just, I was ecstatic for like a week. And they look so good.
Yeah. So that's Simon Taylor of Spellbook Inc. Did that one. Wolfsbane was, I think that's out now. It was his last Kickstarter. It ran around the time of Providers. And the art in there is similar to what we have in Grim Merchants. And
it's beautiful.
Chef's kiss. Yeah. Good aside. Because he deserves a mention for sure. The character he's brought to our merchants is amazing.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm so looking forward to getting this. I kind of wanted to pivot a little bit. People who want to create their own Mothership products or just their own products in general, what would be your advice for someone to dive in and do that? Because I feel like you have a little bit of an advantage in the sense that you are a graphic designer. So I mean, I'm imagining that you probably have like some of the tools just due to your job. And, obviously, you've gone to school for that kind of. So do you feel like that should be a block for people who are like, oh, dude, I want to put out something, but I'm not as awesome as Josh is at layout and graphic
that
design.
Shouldn't stop him. No. Comparison is the thief of joy is a phrase that I think applies here. I think it is a friendly community. If that was the vibe of the community, I wouldn't have gone into it either, because I would look at, I couldn't be as cool as Norgad or people would say. There's people that we're working with now, like in Mothership Month, that I was also kind of like, oh my god, I don't. And I think so. I would say, do it. The first step is just create it. If you have fun doing it, if you get something out of it, don't make it if you're looking to make money. If you're making a product, that's gonna shoot you in the foot. You're gonna burn out. And also, we're doing pretty well, but the money's not that good. Broadly speaking, it's a difficult, but do it because you enjoy it, because you have a passion for it, and people will see that. Regardless of your skills and your capabilities, the passion is, I think, really what the Mothership community responds to, and what they will encourage, kind of at all stages. And you want to shout out the game jam? I was going to, So there's a couple things. So right now there is a game jam going on, organized by Lionhearth Outfitters, or Lionhearth Games, called the Triptych Jam. And it's got kind of a space. I think he has a Discord for it, but it's also, there's pins to it, I think, in some of the socials for some of the Reddit community, Discord community. They both have links to it. But it's a pamphlet adventure jam running until the end of Mothership Month or middle of November, I'm pretty sure. And it is entirely designed for people who don't know how to do any of this, to just sink their teeth in. There's resources that Graham, who runs Lionhearth, has provided. It's a whole Discord full of creators and artists who are all forming teams and stuff. It's started now. I believe signups are still up. You'll be, kind of a couple days behind people. But if people listen to this, hopefully, I'm not sure what time your turnaround time is to typically release these.
So this is going to come out next Monday.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
It's going to be just so we can tell people. It's going to be October 27th to 2025. So
okay, sounds good.
In case you're listening to this way in the future for some reason,
Yeah. Sorry, you missed your boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just.
But they do it every year.
It's hopefully multiple times a year. He's
Hopefully,
hoping to do like
sick.
2 or 3 times a year. But the Trip Tech Game Jam by Lion Hearth, and the entire idea is literally just to encourage people to get started doing this stuff. Honestly, if I hadn't done my little jam, like this would have dragged me right in. They have a theme. They have just an amazing kind of setup. And then people
so cool.
Yeah, and they have just all kinds of resources for judging and for putting it out there into the world. So that's what I would say. There's a lot of free programs. Like you can use Canva. You can use you can use Microsoft Paint. Like you could it is there's varying degrees. But I think the first thing is to just write down your idea. Use just Google Docs. Just like get some ideas down and bounce it off of people. Get some feedback. Join the community. Sound off with people. Start making some friends and support each other. Like I think it's just like one of those things that eventually you will run into a person who has the knowledge you need to get it off the ground, or you'll end up in a team. Or even just like people give you some good tips and then you'll run it and it'll just be a fun game that you run. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a scattered answer, but
that's great.
It
reminds me of, I had a teacher not long ago who said that when the student is ready, the master will appear. And it feels like that's kind of what you're saying here is that, you need to get your start, and that eventually through networking and through, getting your product out there, that you're going to meet people who are going to be able to help you along your journey to improve and get better at it.
Yeah.
So for the projects that are happening right now in Mothership Month, because you guys are all sort of like connected with each other, do you have any particular favorites that you're like waiting for, where you're like, oh,
don't make me pick favorites?
I want to shout out Stand and Deliver.
Stand and Deliver. Yeah. Suffity Games, Stand and Deliver.
Yeah. It super cool project. Really great guy behind it. Just big.
It's like a luxury district aboard the Dream. It's got new classes. It's got all kinds of resources. It seems really dense. It's also like quite long as well. It's like 50 pages.
Is it 50 pages?
Maybe I'm getting it mixed up with another one, but it's a very dense book. I think that one's well worth shouting out. I would be remiss if I didn't mention our cross collab partner, Their Wolf Games, No Gods, No Masters, which is a height crawl through a corporate tower. It's reverse Die Hard, essentially. It's like, what if you were taking over the tower?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so they're partnered with us. And it's a really, really cool project that is kind of built. It's a height crawl. So if you've ever done a depth crawl, it's just that, but upwards.
Okay.
Where you're rolling dice to every floor you go up to. You're running into random encounters and different things. And just the procedures he has for introducing complications and escalating kind of events as you get further in.
It's going to be so fun to run.
It's going to be super, super fun to run. We're hoping to do some play testing for him this month.
Yeah.
And the big thing is too, if you back his project and our project, you get extra like mission cards so that our vendors have missions for you to do, sending you into the tower.
Okay.
And every project, so every project in Mothership Month, most every project is paired up with another. And if you back both, there's like extra goodies that you get. There's also an embroidered patch that Their Wolf is doing. So you get a full extra embroidered patch if you back both. What's the third one? Roach Motel?
I was going to say Hunters.
Hunters? Yeah. Oh, Hunters looks so
Hunters
good.
Is most dangerous game, and you are the prey. Like, it is rich core worlders coming to Prospero's Dream to hunt citizens.
That is messed up.
It is truly a fucked up premise, and I cannot wait.
I'm just because we're all talking through like Discord and stuff, all of our creators. So I'm never Green Beetle Games.
Green Beetle.
That's the name for Hunters. Green Beetle Games is Hunters. That one also doing very well, but really, really excited for that one. So I would say that those are kind of our top ones.
Nice.
And then Roach Motel by Norgad.
Norgad.
Norgad. Norgad is an amazing creator. The Dead Weight and Brackish, and just like always delivers like top tier stuff. And we've had some conversations, and super cool person as well. So Roach Motel, and it's fulfilling separately. So it'll be in people's mailboxes before like anything else. Yeah. Like he's super on top of that stuff. So I would say that one probably as well.
Very cool. So we're running close to time. Before we go, I was kind of curious, was there anything about Grim Merchants or anything else that we talked about that you were like, damn it, dude, why didn't you ask us about that? I can't believe it. I can't believe you wouldn't ask us about that.
Well, I mean, it depends. How familiar are your viewers with like Mothership in general? Because I feel like, I don't know if we've actually like pitched what the book is. So I don't know, like are your viewers typically like they're already on top of this stuff? They know the most recent news in the...
I have some people who are like diehard Mothership fans, and I have other people who have probably heard of Mothership, but have no idea what the deal is. But yeah.
I think one big one would be the shout out for Simon Taylor for the artist. I think that's a really good one to highlight because that brings so much to the book. Top level, it's new vendors.
Some of them are super cool, cozy people you want to be friends with. Some of them are actually like monsters.
Yeah, some of them are horrible people. And we have a zoo, a menagerie. That would also be, if we can get to the 21,000 mark, that's our next stretch goal. And it will be a fifth vendor. Oh, and it's like you're writing it. I think that maybe if people are listening and they're like on the fence with the project.
What if you could own a xenomorph as a pet, but maybe it kills you sometimes?
That's awesome.
Because it's never gone wrong in any of the Alien movies. No. When the company man says maybe we can tame it and use it as a weapon, that's always gone well for them.
That's always gone well.
I can't imagine what would go wrong.
Yeah. So, we have lots more to add to the project if we can hit some stretch goals. And we've already unlocked some really cool stuff. And there's plenty more to go. So hopefully throughout the month, we'll have more to share on that on the Backerkit page and stuff like that.
Sweet. So what advice would either of you, well, I guess maybe I'll ask you guys individually. So Josh, what kind of advice would you have for a new or veteran game master? It could be both. It could be together. Mm-hmm. And if you don't think you're ready, then I can switch to Michael.
I have an answer.
Yeah. Give me a second because I have one. I just want to construct it.
I think there is a type of person who enjoys DMing. And I do think that has overlap with people who enjoy being in control. And the biggest piece of advice I could give a new DM is give your players more control of the story. Mm-hmm. If you are afraid that doing something would make them too powerful or just do it and work on the complications afterwards, because your players are likely as good a storyteller as you are. And if they aren't yet, they can become it if you just let them do it. Mm-hmm. It has the added bonus of also making more DMs. So you'll get to play every once in a while. I would say give your players more agency.
The first hit is free, kid.
Are you saying that some of us game masters need to go see therapists about our control issues?
I would never suggest that.
Oh man,
biting nails.
Yeah, I don't know. My advice, I would say, I mean, it is largely similar. I love putting more power in the hands of the players. And I think for something like Mothership, it's really important. I would say my advice would be, it is not the end of the world to go above the table.
Yes.
And I think that I see a lot of like online discussion and stuff too. People have problems that they will try to solve in game when it is an out of game social problem.
Right.
And I think that there are so many situations that I have resolved at the table with players that could have turned into something that was, difficult socially, right? Like it's, you're with your friends and you're maybe out of game kind of feeling a bit, hurt or kind of miffed and, or even just kind of bothered. And I think that there's so many situations where it's just like pausing the game and saying, okay, listen, out of game, this is what will happen. Do you want to do this? There is the pretense and there is the kind of like illusion of a suspension of disbelief, like you have you're all in the world and you're all immersed. But I think breaking that immersion can sometimes lead to better moments. Because if you come out of game and say, listen, if you do this, not in game, I'm not telling you, out of game, I'm telling you, if you do this, you will die. Right? I need you to know, as your character in the world and as the person portraying the world to you, your character knows that if they do this, they will die. This isn't a bit, this isn't a psyop. I'm not trying to trick you.
Right.
You will just die. And then it puts, I guess, the power in their hands, but it also just clarifies that distance between you. And you had to break the immersion to do it.
Yeah.
But then when you zoom back in, everybody knows the stakes.
Yeah.
And there's just, I mean, maybe it's too general to say, but yeah, I think you can't use in-game solutions to solve out of game problems.
100%.
And out of game is as valuable a tool for the storytelling as in game can be. And I don't think there's anything wrong with pausing the game and being like, all right, we're all feeling kind of tense. How are we feeling? Should we keep going? Should we pivot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Amen.
I love
Agreed.
it.
Thank you.
My Mothership game master, Carl D. Shout out Carl D.
Shout out Carl.
There you go. Carl with the C, by the way.
Carl with the C. Good to know. Good to know.
And so we were in a scenario where our base was being overrun by these zombies. And he basically at one point was like we were like, okay, we're going to take these things. We're going to fucking blast them. And he was like, okay, guys, I just want to let you know that there are like way too many of them. And the likelihood of you being able to actually survive this is unrealistic. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So, and like there was like a shift in the game and we were like, okay, and it was better for it. So I feel like what you're saying has a lot of merit to it. And I think both of you guys gave like top tier advice. I know I always put people on the spot all the time with this question. It's not easy, but you guys succeeded with flying colors.
Yes. Yeah, no, appreciate it. No, it's a great question. It's a really good question for just like even your own reflection of
Absolutely.
like examining your own, like, what do I do as a DM that is good, and what can I do that's better? And
what have I learned to do as a DM that wasn't working before?
I like to say that I'll make every mistake once, and I think that's a good way to go through life because it's like, yeah, okay, I shouldn't do that again, and then you go forward from there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a fabulous conversation. Both of you, amazing. Joshua, Michael, I'm so glad that the project has fulfilled, and I'm really hoping that you guys, or not fulfilled, but has
funded.
Has funded.
You got a book.
Yeah. Yeah. This is Jason from the future. It's an awesome
thing. Okay, how is it?
Before I let you go, did you have any last words?
Check out Mothership Month 2025. Amazing projects going on. Check out Providers. It's out now on Itch and Drive-Thru RPG. And I know exactly what Michael's going to plug.
I gotta plug Over Under right now.
So Over Under, massive Discord RPG project by Sam Sorensen.
And yeah, it is 1,500 players in a Discord server role playing as if they're on Prospero's Dream. And it is absolutely sick. It has taken over my life.
It is cut into productivity. It's multiple factions, and there's players who are the bosses that are making moves and taking territory and moving money. It's all kinds of people, all the way from just like regular members of the Mothership community to like big name publishers are participating in different capacities.
They're doing like projects where they're like making D100 tables for Prospero's Dreams. They're going to release afterwards.
Yeah.
Is this on the Mothership Discord, or this is a separate Discord?
It'll be in there. It's a separate server, but you'll find it. People are talking about it for sure.
Yeah, it should be linked as well on the Explore page for Mothership Month 2025. They have a link to it. It's people. There's a soup kitchen. There's a fighting ring. I'm running a ship-breaking dock with the local Teamsters Union.
Yeah.
There's double agents and intrigue and crazy old men burning down bars. It is the definition of insanity, but it is very, very cool as a social event for the Mothership community. So highly recommend checking it out just to see what's going on.
That's super rad. That sounds so amazing. Well, make sure that everybody listening goes to Backerkit and Back's Grim Merchants, 4 new cutthroat businesses to populate Prospero's Dream. Sell your soul, lose your mind, spend your cash, and dive back in.
Thank you so much, Jason.
So the Backerkit ends November 12th, 2025. November 11th? Okay.
Yeah.
So you have 14 days from the time that this drops to still be able to back. So please do. I think this is Mothership and Tuesday Night Games and all of the like third-party producers have put out such amazing stuff. I think it's such a great product, and that even if you're not necessarily down with the Mothership rules itself, I feel like there's so much value in the products themselves. And your stuff in particular, Joshua, is fantastic. I'm
Thank you.
So glad that, not only do I get to support such a great producer, but also a fellow Canadian. And so that means a lot to me. I will have links to your drive-through page, your itch.io page, and of course the links to the Backerkit. Was there any other places where we can find you?
I am on Blue Sky at my itch.io handle. But that's about it. I technically have an Instagram, but it's not huge. Really, it's the storefronts there, and then the Backerkit as well. Main points of communication with Michael and I. So
Michael, you don't have any of your own
I don't really exist online at the moment. That may change in the near future. But yeah, TBD.
All right. Well, eventually the crazy fans are going to be trying to hunt you down. So, you're going to need to have
that might be the goal of we'll have to see. There's more stuff potentially in the pipeline. But for the moment, it's all my
your
stuff.
shoulders.
You have something to say to Michael, it's gotta go through.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for being on the show, guys. It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. And thanks for helping me plunge the dungeon, flush evil down the drain. And remember, follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and now just today, so this would be like in the past. So about a week in the past, we now have a Dungeon Plungers Union Discord. Join it, hang out. We got a lot of cool people on there talking about cool role-playing stuff, sharing all sorts of cool nerd stuff. And until next time, Union members, plungers up.
Plungers up.
All right, guys. Great. That's all for this week, folks. Music and stingers by Reed Reimer of Fable Factory Studio. Cover art by John McNally. And a special thanks to Edward Vallee, the voice of Hecktor.
Greetings, listener! It is I, Hecktor, the real Dungeon Plunger. Not that Linguinions Jason. If you want to hear more interviews like this one, follow us and share this podcast with your friends, your family, your neighbors, random strangers, the people living in the wall, the troll that lives under the bridge, the guardian of the lost city, everyone! It means the world to us that you share our podcast and make our numbers bigger. Plungers up!
And remember, when you're plunging in the dungeon and nature calls, watch out for mimics disguised as toilets. They're a pain in the butt.